5 News This Morning starts now.
All right, it's 6:30 and another back to school first day. Those alarm clocks going off. We have live team coverage of all the excitement. Reporter Jacob Luthi will join us in Rogers and reporter Emily Moss live in Portsmith just ahead.
And for those of you heading out the door, rain chances now compared to earlier this week are pretty little to none, but those will be there this afternoon. The bigger story, though, is going to be the heat and humidity. Talk about how hot it will get this week coming up.
And how supporters plan to move forward after a judge partially blocked a law to display the 10 Commandments in Arkansas classrooms.
A live look outside in Springdale first. Look at that beautiful sunrise. That'll get you going.
Absolutely. I feel like the sun's been showing out all week for the first week, right?
Yeah, because it's back to school. So we got to get things, moving. We got to get some excitement going and get back into that routine.
Yeah, I think Mother Nature sometimes has that internal clock. It knows when to show out, but unfortunately, it doesn't know when to quit sometimes with the heat.
Oh, yeah.
The calendar doesn't really disregard for that heat, but I guess it is still summer and it is still technically the hottest time of the year. Although the River Valley, the high temperature, the average high, get ready guys, it is now from 95 to 94. Unfortunately, it's going to be above 94 for at least the next 6 days, if not 7. Current temperatures out there right now are in the low to mid 70s, a little bit warmer as you walked out the door this morning compared to yesterday morning. The humidity is a little bit higher, as well as that cloud cover is keeping things a little bit more at bay. We're seeing though some peaks of sunshine through it, as you saw there in Springdale, and really all across the viewing area. Maybe a little bit more cloud cover hovered around I-40. For those kids headed out to the bus stop, it's going to be in the 70s. It's going to be mild but muggy. Then by recess or lunchtime, we'll be in the 80s. Some approaching the low 90s, and heading home it'll be hot and humid, maybe a couple of pop-up storms, but not only is it going to be hot and humid, but it is going to feel like the triple digits instead of just the 90s. So we'll talk more about the heat and humidity, as well as maybe those storm pop-ups coming up in your full forecast. For now, take a live look at traffic on this Wednesday morning. Take a live look along I-49 at Oakwood Avenue near the Lowell area, and maybe the camera's sick of this heat because it decided not really wanting to work this morning, but traffic is moving smoothly across the area. Again, maybe you want to crank up that AC a little bit and keep that umbrella handy just in case for later this afternoon. As we talked about, just keep it in the car, although maybe just keep it at the door. We'll talk more about that rain chance coming up in your full forecast. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, thanks for that, Danny. Our back to school coverage continues with more schools. That first bell of the year will ring today.
Yeah, 5 News reporter Emily Moss is live in Fort Smith, where over 14,000 students back in the classroom today. Emily, good morning.
Good morning, Joe and Tiffany. I'm here at Ballman Elementary. That first bell will ring around 8 o'clock this morning, but we're expecting to start seeing some kids show up around 7:15 because 7:30 is when that state-mandated free breakfast begins. It's just one of the new laws that's starting this school year, including a new change with tax credits for teachers to try to help them with that burden of supplying their classrooms. April Reisma is the Arkansas Education Association president. She says teachers spend hundreds of dollars and more on student supplies and classroom items a year. Reisman says back-to-school shopping allows parents to help ease the burden on educators, and the supplies on the list are reviewed to make sure what they're getting is what's needed.
A yearly basis, year-round, actually, all over this United States. When we need supplies and they're not there, we go out and purchase them. If they are involved and they're at the school volunteering and helping with like PTA and things like that, they could really see what those needs are, and you wouldn't have those complaints for sure.
So this year, the legislative session increased the tax credit from $500 to $1,000 for teachers who buy supplies or other items for their students. Reisma says that if you are a teacher and you plan to use that tax credit, just make sure you're keeping a hold of your receipts, since that way you can prove to the IRS that you were using that money for supplies. Of course, here we're expecting some kids to start showing up. We already have about one teacher here, so it's about to get pretty busy here at Ballman Elementary, but I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Emily. Happening today, new students will start moving in at the University of Arkansas Fort Smith. First-year students can move in from 9 to 1 today. They'll have a cookout for students and families, and then move-in will continue through this Friday there at Lions Den and Sebastian Commons. Now, remember, drivers can expect heavier traffic around Waldron and Grand Avenue this week due to move-in.
Well, this school year, Fayetteville Public Schools is using a pilot program to cut down on milk carton waste. Several of the campuses are taking part in the bulk milk program. Students will be given glasses that can be washed and reused each day. This instead of disposable cartons. The milk will be given out from new dispensaries.
If all goes well this year, we plan to expand that out to more schools next year until we're district-wide.
Well, he also says thousands upon thousands of milk cartons go into landfills each day. So their goal with this program is to be better stewards of the environment.
All right, in Rogers, it's back to school, and I think the excitement is leaking over to our reporter Jacob Luthi, because during the commercial break, he was out there singing and dancing.
He was having a good time. And Jacob, we know a lot of other people excited today as well. So what are people looking forward to this school year in the Rogers School District? Good morning.
Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning, Joe. It is, yes, I was. It's just such an exciting day here in Rogers. You can't help but feel for this school district hit hard by the Memorial Day weekend tornadoes in May of last year, especially this campus. We heard from Dr. Jeff Perry a little earlier. He said that there were some buildings where you would look up and there'd be no ceiling, right? The roof was completely torn off. So this building right here took a lot of damage. But he said despite that, despite having to move all the students here to 40 mobile classrooms at the New Tech school, he says the numbers went up, the performance went up, the test results went up. So that just speaks to the teachers here at Greer-Lingo Middle School, and it speaks to the students as well. Now, in Rogers, the district leaders say that their focus is really going to be purpose-driven this year. It's built around what they call the 3 E's: employment, enlistment, and enrollment. Through career and technical programs, students can graduate with certifications that allow them to start work immediately. The district also supports those looking to enlist in the military or enroll into college, including top-tier universities. The goal, they say, is really to ensure that every student graduates ready for whatever path they choose. Rogers School District officials say academics remain a top priority with rigorous curriculum that's driving results. Last year, 11 campuses earned an A rating, and advanced placement scores are on the rise. District leaders say that they're seeing strong growth across the board, from students who struggle to those at the top.
We are bringing a fifth of the entire population of Garfield, Little Flock, Lowell, and Rogers into our schools. And so it's a pretty enormous kind of thing when you think about it. And we take that responsibility very seriously, because we know that depending on what we do is going to have a big impact on the success of that child.
So really just an exciting morning all throughout the Rogers School District, especially right here at Greer-Lingo Middle School. We have teachers arriving right now. It's still a little bit early for students to come. School starts around 8 a.m. this morning. So pretty soon we're going to be seeing a lot of happy faces showing up right here at Lingo Middle School. I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Jacob. Well, the Springdale School Board has signed off on a construction plan to replace 2 aging elementary schools, Westwood and Jones Elementary. Both schools were built in 1959, though no word on when the construction will get underway.
Well, this morning, Portsmith remains under Phase 2 water conservation restrictions following a major water main break. On August 3rd, an estimated 1 million gallons of water were lost near Phoenix Avenue and Airport Drive, leading to emergency water conservation. But city officials say some residents and businesses are ignoring the restrictions, which include no lawn irrigation, vehicle washing, or filling pools. Director of Water Utilities Lance McAvoy says following these rules is the only way for the city to return to normal water use.
By all of us pulling together, obeying the water conservation, we're going to be able to end water conservation sooner than later. And that's the biggest takeaway, is the more we conserve water now, the sooner we don't have to conserve water in the future.
McAvoy also says if people continue to ignore Phase 2 protocols, the city could begin issuing fines.
And this week, lawmakers at the Arkansas Capitol held a news conference about a state law that would require the display of the 10 Commandments in public school classrooms. Well, last week, a judge partially stopped the law from taking effect. Catherine Rowley has the latest.
Cannot separate the history of our nation and the founding of our law and justice system from the 10 Commandments.
Lawmakers, lawyers, and organizations gathered at the Capitol today to show their support for Act 573.
This is about the histories and traditions of the United States, and the 10 Commandments plays an important role in that.
The new law approved during this last year's legislative session requires public schools and government buildings to display the 10 Commandments. It was also set to go into effect last week until a judge put it on hold as a group of parents worked to overturn it, calling the act unconstitutional. But supporters say the U.S. Supreme Court already weighed in on this debate.
This has been part of history and tradition for a long time in America. The lawsuit that happened here was not a surprise, knew that would be coming, but also knew that with what the Supreme Court had given us in 2019, that there's really firm footing on this, because this is something that has a long-standing historical tradition in America, and that's teaching the Ten Commandments to students. So this has been key for so much of our history and just returning to really what has worked in previous generations.
While the ongoing lawsuit is focused on displaying the Ten Commandments in just 4 of Arkansas's schools, proponents of the ruling say it's not giving up.
We're obviously in disagreement with the ruling of the judge at the district level, but that will be appealed.